What name did you say?
Awesome. Really very awesome. Hey people, on another side of the desk, welcome to NEXTTH DOT. You might not have heard about us before, but we are a newly established company. We are a newly recognized company in the field of technology, working diligently with a very small team right now on several innovative concepts. Out of which, we just came up with unleashing of our very first official release, our Project 1, that is RAE, your web development assistant, which is just one from our main initiatives. So without wasting any more time, let's dive into learning more about RAE. You might have already caught a glimpse of how RAE works here in the teaser. Let me just define RAE with its complex definition to you, because sometimes we need to step out of our familiar territory before we can truly embrace something new, right? Actually, RAE as a system is designed to work with a protocol followed by any artificial intelligence system working for human assistance. So what does that mean? We can just say that RAE as a system works to resemble complex HTML, CSS code snippets with simple English prompts. However, HTML and CSS have never been that complex, but we just brought to you a more simplified version of this. And so, RAE helps you in structuring your static web pages by creating dynamic HTML elements and adding CSS or crafting CSS to those elements at the same time. However, this system does not mandatorily work only for non-coders, but using RAE for its effective outcome, one needs to at least just have a foundational grasp of HTML and CSS elements, and that's actually more than enough. And I know that isn't literally tell you all the things, right? Don't worry, this video is going to work as a user manual for the operation of RAE. Here I'm going to talk about the primary concepts of RAE, how it is actually going to assist you creating your web pages, what are the many ways it can be used for, and the most important thing to talk about is that what level of intelligence can be demonstrated by the system. So, okay, before anything else, let us just hop in. So this is my screen, and let's open the website. It's RAE.NEXTTH.in. People in there, just a minute. How many of you know is that .in? Yes, you heard it right. We are an Indian brand. Actually, we are a proud Indian brand. Let's just proceed saying namaste to every Indian individual watching this video. And here we come up to RAE. Let's just get check-in. Okay, now basically we are just provided with two options, either test RAE or directly start working with RAE. Actually, if you go through test RAE, we just find our primary user manual system. Let me just show you where it takes you to. So these are the sample templates created with the help of RAE by providing specific instructions as the input. You can see here one image depicting the desktop viewport and the other one depicting the mobile viewport of the same. So how was it actually created? I'll just explain it to you. For creating the static web pages, you have to pass in the instructions, which will just create dynamic HTML elements, and also dynamic styling can be done based on the instructions you provide. So for the desktop viewport, you have to mention the dimensions fitting up your desktop size. However, for maintaining the responsiveness of the web page, once you complete up with your desktop viewport, you have to shrink out the window and simply update its dimensions so that it simply fits to your mobile viewport or any other responsive viewport. That's it. Hey, see ya. The mobile viewport of this particular web page is shown in two halves, as the complete thing wouldn't get fit into the frame, so we just adjusted it into one. Actually, let's just scroll down. Here we have been provided with such other templates, out of which one is a login page template. I'll just show where it takes you to. Clicking in. Okay, here you get some basic instructions about the contents of the main interface and the functionality of each one. Below here, you are provided with some files. The first one is the instructions doc. This thing includes the instructions in line for creating particular templates so that any fresher can get an idea about how it actually works. And the second thing is the boilerplate code doc. Here you have the boilerplate HTML code with two sections mentioned in, one for the desktop viewport and the other one for the mobile viewport code. That is, when you complete up with your desktop viewport, aligning all the elements to their position, and once you get this code, you're supposed to paste in the desktop viewport division, and the same thing works with respect to the mobile viewport code. Okay, and now just get in. Let me click start trial, and here you're brought to the sign up page. Yes, the first 12 templates come from this design. Let's just get signed in. And we are done. Okay, now there's one more thing. You have to create a footmark every time you visit RAE. Actually, this is just kind of login system. Let's do it. I'll design my mark somewhat this way and just get in. Here we go. See, here at the top right corner appears your login mark, and towards the left you're provided with these buttons. Don't try and adjust this button by their design. They actually might look simple, but their logic is actually very complex. That's just another controversy to keep this simple style. So basically, here we have set, type in, and get code. And another button is try RAE 1.1. Basically, this section holds the initial version of RAE, which was the first most intelligent system found to be working correctly as per our design and concept, which was further on replaced by RAE 1.1, which is basically the advanced version of RAE 1.0. So we have just kept this thing as a backup. If some things won't appear working correctly with 1.1, you can switch back to 1.0, as there are a few things even working superiorly in RAE 1.1 as that compared to RAE 1.1. However, to talk about the side button, it is like optionally RAE allowing you to speak out the instructions if you are just tired to type in. I'll show you how it works. And the next thing, the get code button, which on click get all your design and style elements in the code format. Okay, I think it's just simply taking a lot of time. Let's just start creating our web page. We'll create the same web page, the one displayed being created in the teaser, so that you at least get that clear view here. Okay, first of all, we need to create a container, and for that we need to do type in, and we'll just instruct RAE to create new division, and just click submit.
What name did you say?
To input the ID for the division you created, the ID you wanted your created division to be identified with. That's a pretty alteration, right? Let's just call it as a container. Now a container element is created, but it isn't anything reflecting, yeah? So why would it actually reflect anything if we have just created a division and nothing else? It will now will add properties to it. First of all, let's just add a background image to it. We'll click type in and type in add background image to it. Actually, whenever you create an element like any button or any footer or any other HTML element, you just have to mention the words like create, define, or implement. However, you don't have to stick to the arrangement of the words in the instructions. Just put it in anyway. For adding or modifying or changing the properties of that created element, you just need to mention the words like add, change, or move. That's it. Okay, we'll just proceed now. Here, I click on submit and it asks me to choose files, that is our background image. Okay, let's do it. And this is okay. And this is okay. And this is yet nothing reflecting. Just a minute. Let's add height of 100 VH, width of 100%, background size to cover, also the object fit to cover the container. And let's just click submit. Okay, here it appears, looking pretty enough. Okay, now let's add a headline to it. Let's just speak in for this time. Okay, let's click set, allow in the permission to enable the microphone. Let's just say create new h1 in the container.
What name did you say?
Headline. You see, let's see if the element is created or not. We'll click get code. Here it is. H1 is created, and actually if I wouldn't have mentioned the name of our main division, that is the container, it would have simply added the h1 as an independent element below the container division. Okay, now let's add text to this h1. Let's say click type in and say add text to it. And yes, here I'll enter now welcome to the dynamic world. Okay, now let's add more properties to this element. Let's add font size of 3 em, the position to relative, and we'll shift the headline towards left by 33% and down towards 30%, that is top of 30%. Add color white and click submit. Okay, yeah, looks pretty. Now let's add text shadow to it. Say add a text shadow black. That's it. Now let's create a button. Let's say create new button in container.
Name did you say?
Call this button as first but and submit. Okay, here it appears, and now let's give this one its properties. Let's say add position relative, add width of 150 pixels, height of 5%, background transparent, border solid, color white, font size of 20 pixels, font family cursive, and move it towards left by 47%, and top of 30%, and that's it. Actually, these perfect dimensions were known after trying to fit the element to its desired position for 2 to 3 times. This is what it allows you to simply put in the dimensions, directly check and if it fits to the desired content or how far it is from its desired position, and just make simple changes to it. Okay, now let's just add text to it. Check in. Very interesting. Yeah. Now one more thing. Let's add the functionality to switch to a new page on click this button. Okay. Let's say create get in through the idea of this button, that is first but. Okay. It's done. I'll just click and yay, it pretty works. You can just create as many partitions you wanted to, and this is the back button, so you can just hop back to the previous page. Okay, how was that? Very good. Now let's just enhance this page moreover. Let's add description. Let's say create new division in container.
Name did you say?
Okay, we'll call it as description. Okay, submit. And now let's add the actual description. Say add text to it, and I'll just simply copy paste the text and submit. Now let's provide specific properties to it. Those are add position relative, add width of 60%, color white, font size of 20 pixels, font style italic, shift left towards 27%, top towards 55%, that is top of 55%. Okay, that's it. Now at any moment, if you feel messed up with any element which just doesn't fit good to your content, you are allowed to cover up your mistake. Just say delete the recent element if the created element is the most recent one, or else just mention the element ID to delete that particular element. Alright, this is what it is supposed to do. So here's all about its working. However, we can simply make mistakes in understanding the casual commands. At this moment, you just simply have to mention the perfect structure of the property. For example, if you have to set the background repeat to no repeat, and if it fails to work, just type in there background hyphen repeat to no hyphen repeat. Okay, there's much to be developed in this system, and as I mentioned earlier, right now I'm working with a small team and looking for enthusiasts in this field to join us. So you are just invited to be a part of our next dot. just drop us a mail at nextthdt@gmail.com or simply visit our social media handles and drop us a message there. Getting back to topic, to talk about what things you can just keep RAE in your schedule. So basically consider yourself as a freelancer discussing with your client about the web page structure and the design. You can just simply handle in the laptop. Tell him to mention the elements in the design structure, as you don't want to actually code, to tell you the actual structure of the interface he wanted it to look like, right? Second thing, the second use is that you can simply create article pages, the number of pages you want. The most of the things required for the simple article pages is already provided by RAE. Yeah, just go simply do it with no code. Moreover, how college professors can even use this system to clarify the fundamental concepts like margin left, margin right, justify content, and all of the stuff in HTML and CSS to new nerds in the field of web development. However, it's your choice and requirement the way you make use of this system. And we'll just keep updating and taking this thing to a more advanced level further on. Also, if you really wish to not just work but also understand the logic and the modifications in the system, so just don't forget to get linked with us, our social media handles mentioned in the description. And yes, there's more to be coming out soon. Thank you. Stay tuned.